My subscribers, my viewers, yes, back again with another video. Yeah, man, another one them say a man a take out a chain, Yeah, man, like where my ancestors them they are back in a slavery. Yeah, but more to know to check it out still. Yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What's good, my viewers and my.
All right, so these chains that I'm picking up, these are 400 years old from Ghana. Hand restraints, neck restraints. So that's 35 pounds.
Imagine the heat on phone.
Oh, man.
You're trying to hold your wife, your kids.
That's just crazy. And I'm holding these for the second time, and my heart is still beating out of my chest. It's like is I don't know. There's a connection that when you pick them up, it's you feel every bit of the anxiety that your ancestor felt when they were put on him or her.
And just think they didn't know where they were going.
And they didn't know what these chains were, where they were going, why they were being put on.
What's the name of the podcast?
It's Gunshot Straight from the Hip.
And you don't even have to defend that either. Like, really, do we have to defend our citizenship against an Asian Jamaican? Do you really think I'm going to go and take out my passport to prove to her or anybody that I'm Jamaican? I'm not going to do that. Because I actually know what the Jamaican Constitution says. The same Constitution that allows her to brandish her Jamaican passport as an Asian descendant is the same Constitution that gives the same citizenship rights to Jamaicans living abroad. Being born in Jamaica gives you Jamaican citizenship. Being a child of Jamaican parents gives you Jamaican citizenship. Being a grandchild of Jamaican parents gives you Jamaican citizenship, right? All you have to do if you were born outside of Jamaica is to claim it. And we're a country that allows dual, triple citizenship. However much citizenship you want to have, it doesn't take away from your Jamaican citizenship unless you decide to relinquish it. And this is just for information purposes for those of you who have any questions about whether or not you're Jamaican. Because let me tell you something right now. You don't have to prove to me. You don't have to prove to nobody. No matter who comes on the internet and want to question who you are, you don't have to prove it to anybody, right? Just go look up the Constitution for yourself. You do not have to prove who you are to anybody.
So-called black and Afro-Latino people, 9 ether beings. The reason why the other species on this planet, such as the Caucasians, the Asians, the Siberians, which claim to be Native Americans, the Mexicans, and the Arabs. See, the reason why these groups of people would never give you your just due, and they will never admit who you are, whether it's Moors, Hebrews, Aboriginal Americans, the Aboriginal Asians, they will never admit who you are because your truth erases their lies. The fact that we exist proves that these people are not the original Egyptians or the original Israelis or the Palestinians. The fact that we exist proves these people are not the original people of Mexico. And we all know the original people of Asia was black, but they will never admit that. And the biggest lie in American history is that these people are the American Indians. You see, they will never admit that these things are lies. It's because once you admit that we are who we are, it disproves all these groups all around the world. The reason why the group Kanye West and Kyrie told us about took control of the school curriculum and the school history books and wrote us out and put these people and others in, is because they are all united in making sure we never rise back and remember who we are. Because when we remember who we are, this whole thing changes, because we are the gods of this earth. We are the gods of this realm. Remember who you are. Peace to the gods.
They describe something very different than we learn in history books. A story that goes back more than 13,000 years, and perhaps up to 50,000 years, describing how humans were created like creator gods in the image of these sky gods known as the Anuna or Anunnaki. Now, the term Anuna was originally a Sumerian name, and Anunnaki was actually an Akkadian and Babylonian name, but they essentially mean the same thing, and they described them as the gods who came down from heaven to earth. In these tablets, it doesn't just discuss how they created us based on something that could maintain the infrastructure here and only be a slave, but actually creator gods like them. And that's what makes our story so incredible, was that we're told in school that we're just like a simple evolved ape and nothing significant towards the world of the universe. But the way that these stories describe our origin stories are completely different than we're taught. In fact, my favorite tablet that describes the significance of who we are comes from the myth of Adapa. Now, the name Adapa can be equated to the biblical name of Adam or Adamu. Now, in these tablets, Adapa was described as living in the city of Eridu, which is fascinating because that city is the city mentioned in both the Sumerian king list and the Uruk list of kings and sages as being the first city ever created on Earth. And in Eridu, which is in southern Iraq near the Persian Gulf, near the confluence of the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, a great civilization emerged, and it's described how it was a city that was built in honor of Enki, the great creator god of the Anuna. In that story, it discusses how Enki created us in perfection in their image, where we got the gifts of these gods infused within us and initially allowed us to live for hundreds, if not thousands of years. But that's what makes this so interesting, because we've gone down this road of falling so far to where we are now, where our mortality limits our lifespans to only about 120 years because of our telomeres. But it was very different back then. We had a completely different bloodline and these hidden gifts within us. And Adapa is described as being an ancient being that was able to be alive for hundreds and hundreds of years. And he's described in the myth of Adapa as not only being just a perfect man, but the greatest among the Anunnaki of all. Which is rather perplexing if you think about it, because it means that not only are we created into perfection, but we were created in a way where we were even greater than our creators. And that's where a lot of these challenges came in that we'll be discussing in some of these episodes. It really is where the point started, the moment began, where the conflict of our creation came up against these creator gods and certain jealousies and things.
I'm going to give you a secret. Nothing in this world is what you think it is. Planet Saturn in the ancient world was called Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Well, he is Lord of the Rings. And so women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god, so they would wear an ear ring. Men were to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring. Because Saturn was Lord of the Rings. He represents government, banking, the police department, all kinds of institutions that are powerful that can hold you back. He was the
hide this. Well, so we all believe, most people believe in extraterrestrials.
Right.
Most people. So what are they afraid of?
We're living in a different world now. Since December of 2017 with Commander David Fravor, the Tic Tac UFO case, which I broke before the New York Times. I reported on that twice. That case opened the door, so we now know the government did not stop studying UFOs in 1969. There's a program called ATIP. That program is now acknowledged. So what are they afraid of? I think they're afraid of weaponization. I think that's the issue here. And also, you're right, we're not alone in the universe, but are they visiting here? And that's the question that they've been unwilling.
Well, I always said it's why don't they just release information that these events occurred and they can keep the technology secret? That I've never understood, so I'm with you on that.
Why are they afraid of you? What are you going to tell us today?
Just what I did, the existence of the project.
All right. Why are they so afraid of that?
I don't. You'd have to ask them that.
Why do you think, Joe? What are they afraid of?
You know, I don't really know. I think that it's a big concept, Larry. It's a big concept that we're not alone and that we're being visited. And in 1989, that's explosive. To this day, we're in a different world. I do believe that. What has come out by the Pentagon, the videos by Commander Fravor, that they admitted there are unknown aerial objects of advanced technology that are fly with impunity in our airspace. It is now admitted by our government. If people don't know that, they now need to know that. We're in a different world. I'm very optimistic.